Name.
Right click on your on yourself.
Oh,
There's like three
like on
dots.
your
And it
little
said
square.
rename right there. Yeah, we're live.
Ah!
Hey.
Hello.
Yeah, look at that.
Welcome
All those-
With only a
Greendale,
mild delay,
everybody.
so
yeah, it's like 15 seconds, so you get to.
but there's no if you curse, it's just gonna go. So
Yeah,
It's just-
I'm not.
There's no one
You have to
editing.
catch it.
It's not what the delay is for at
There's
all.
no censor.
No, this is cool. I love seeing my my Twitter feed blow up with all these live feeds.
Oh yeah, it just goes tap 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 right down.
Brought to you by Switchboard
Retweeting.
Live.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes. Hell yeah.
Thanks,
Give them your
Switchboard.
money.
Shameless plug.
Yep.
Shameless,
Thanks,
and you
Switchboard,
should be
for making
shameless.
this happen.
We're live.
Yeah.
Leading it.
So so this is chaos. We've invited.
Yeah, there's a lot of us.
to-
A different version, but yes.
Yeah, this is a lot. This is the most we've ever done, I think. And we've got multiple parties in these each of these podcasts. So yeah, this is awesome. So
Oh, yeah.
I don't want to play host, but I'll it's
But
like
you're gonna have
But you
to.
are.
You're gonna.
Yeah, someone's got to keep us in line.
Honestly, please do.
I texted
Yeah.
to say if you needed somebody else to host, I was
No.
willing, but you
it's
should
like
host.
baked
You-
in. It's baked in.
I'm not gonna
just
moderate this. I'm just gonna go.
I just can't.
Yeah, this isn't my job today.
It's just gonna be tangents. Like
Yeah. So welcome to. I wish we had like. Can we do like jingle bells? Everyone do jingle bells together.
Okay.
Jingle bells,
bells,
jingle bells.
I can't sing.
That's all right. So welcome to.
We got one line in, and
By the way, we're all talking over each other, so everyone just heard. "Whoa."
It was like, oh, what they heard was alcoholism.
general tune
Yeah.
of-
There's going to be much of that tonight. I hope you enjoyed it.
Brought to you by Fat Tire.
Alcoholism.
Fat Tire. Amber Ale.
Fireball.
no free sponsorships.
Funky bottle of bourbon. I don't know anything else
Paul
about
and Jillian
it.
are going to be like real fun in a second.
but brown. It's cold and brown liquor. So.
So welcome to our holiday live stream. I'm Alex, and why don't we quick go around? Jen, say hi.
Hi, I'm Jen.
You can read our
Community
name
Rewatch
tags.
Podcast.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
that helps. Ed and Kylie.
Hi.
Hi.
And this is Rita. She's the
That's
most
Rita.
important one over
Yeah.
here.
Hi,
I will be
Minotaur
deferring to
Man
her
from
in most
Cool Abed
situations.
Film Chat. Say hi.
Hi.
Discourse with Evil Annie.
Hi.
Michael and Jillian.
Woo, welcome to
Hi.
Greendale.
All right, and we got Zach and Steven. You get to go together. You can say because you're
Hey, what's up?
Hi.
Listen to our show. You can't disappoint a podcast.
all right.
Probably will though.
Do it.
This is like a fallback position.
and last but not least, our fearless, wonderful
Coordinator, grouper.
Yeah.
Grouper? That's a
Groupie.
fish. That's
Papa.
bad.
podcast groupie.
Grouper's a fish.
Grouper's just a fish. Yeah.
Podcast groupie is Matt.
Podcast
Hi, Matt.
group.
I listen to all of them, so yes, I'm in that group.
Someone's got to do it.
You're the
Yeah.
only
I don't.
one.
I'm not sure of that.
Doing the Lord's work.
That's true.
Yeah.
Good.
Question mark.
Hey, so we're going to talk about community episodes. The first question is, what are the episodes of the holiday episodes we're going to like allow into this discussion? So we've got
There's 4.
The 4
Yeah.
Christmas episodes, right?
I never really. I mean, yeah, Intro to Knots is not my favorite, so I barely.
But it's
count that as
definitely a Christmas episode.
But
It
it's a
definitely
Christmas episode.
is.
We are going to talk
Fine.
We did
Did no-
not air in December, so
Did no one else do the
No.
reading?
But that was not their fault. It wasn't.
It's not a requirement
They hope
for it
for
to
it
be
to.
a
No one else
Christmas
did the
episode.
homework. We did the homework.
I did the homework except for Intro to Knots.
I just finished the episode like 10 minutes ago.
See,
We
even
watched
a bad
Shop
Christmas
Horror,
is
we
still a
did our
Christmas.
Intro to Knots.
That wasn't your guys' favorite?
Regional holiday
Wow.
music.
I just watched that one 4 times.
Christmas,
Yeah. It's,
And comparative religion.
all right.
Those
Thanks,
are
Right.
the
Jen.
4 answers that you were looking
Right.
for,
Yes.
Alex. What do I win?
A chance for someone else to talk.
Oh,
Aw.
that's sad.
Oh, so technically
I've already
speaking,
ruined it.
Been a good Zoom call, guys.
All right,
This
guys,
is
thanks for
going
tuning
well.
in.
Bye,
We'll
going
catch you
really
next
well.
time.
Technically
Genuality,
speaking,
we
comparative
can't link
religion
this.
is a December 10th episode. It is not.
Which it is at this time, December 10th.
Yeah.
December 10th.
It's almost like we planned that or
Today.
something.
It's like Shirley
Yeah.
has her own day. That's what Yvette
Hmm.
tweeted today. So
Yes.
Yeah. All right. So let's raise our hands. Who is the number one favorite episode? Is the December 10th episode? What is it called?
Comparative religion.
Comparative
comparative religion.
Who's favorite?
I'm voting.
It might be, yeah.
I'm applauding you.
It might be.
Yeah. All right.
It's close.
It's a good
It's close.
That's that was brave of us.
I'm proud of us.
It's a
all
good
right.
But don't
episode.
say heroes.
Abed's Uncontrollable Christmas.
Okay.
Keep that going. Listen to me.
I mean, you're
gonna put my hand up for regional
but-
holiday.
Okay, I was about to be like,
So
I
good.
don't know.
It's the wrong answer, but
It's
I
not the wrong
respect
answer.
you're
It's a
brave.
It's a
in
slight
different
edge
way.
for me, but it's still an edge.
It's a musical. It's
Mhm.
got a sad, quick Christmas song.
Sad, quick Christmas song. Come on.
It features. There are wizards. They learn to teleport. In the
And a
episode.
warlock.
Yeah, but
Important episode.
There's literally
And a
another
warlock.
Christmas episode that's a better musical.
Yeah.
It's,
Wow.
it's the only Christmas episode that features Duncan, the best character on the show.
That's fair. That's fair.
Only
I mean,
episode
need
to win
I
an
say
Emmy.
more? I could, but do I?
Only
need to
award-winning
say
Shirley's
more?
a
I
baby.
feel like we've gotten into hot takes.
But it's
really
also
early.
Yeah,
like
we did. All
it's
right,
also
all right.
like not that funny, and the
Okay.
other ones are a lot funnier.
Jen was right.
Painfully wrong.
Please, Jen was right. I
Yeah,
should have.
yeah.
All right. Sorry, what was that, Alex?
No,
Yeah.
no.
Jim was right. Yes,
I forgive me for. Yeah, it's just me and you now. We're gonna talk.
There we go. Suddenly, everyone else was muted.
I
It's so
offended
weird.
you first, and now I'm going to offend everyone else. So.
Real hard to offend you.
That's okay. I will need to be reined in.
All right. So, regional holiday. What is it called?
Regional holiday music.
I
That's
should
like
know
kind
this.
of
That
if
one's
it's
a
if it's
slight.
not
It's just a slight edge above Abed's for me. Like it's
Yeah.
hard to rank them, but like
I
it gets a slight edge
like,
for the Glee.
I like the
love
meaning
Glee.
of Abed's
I'm sorry.
Uncontrollable Christmas more,
Yeah.
but
Yes.
regional holiday music has some snappy numbers like Jehovah's Most Secret.
I mean,
shit.
That is just bar for bar
Obvious.
heat constantly.
I
Right.
think for Abed's Uncontrollable Christmas, it's the emotional heart.
The idea
and
that like
sad
Yeah.
that
Christmas
makes
has
it for
meaning
me.
because
Yes.
we give it meaning. That's
But
beautiful.
then regional holiday music, as someone who watched Glee, all the very subtle digs at Glee and like
Oh
the
my goodness,
references
I mean-
are so on point.
the
And-
music whenever someone walks into a room like do 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 do.
Brad, the piano
Perfect.
the
The
rise
piano player guy, yeah.
Brad, do you guys see
remember
him too?
How important Glee was? Like Glee
Yeah.
was
I
a
was a
thing
huge-
we
yes.
did for a while.
Do you know that Kings of Leon joke? I had to go back and look it up as to
Oh,
like what was
I
the
love that joke.
reference to
I
that,
love
and it
it.
was I forgot about it. It's such a
It's
big
because they
one, but-
refused to give their music to Glee.
Also, come on, the incomparable
Oh.
Taron Killam. How can you not vote for an episode that has
I mean,
SNL?
listen,
All right.
I hear you. I hear
Intro to
Anyway.
nuts. Intro to nuts.
It's
Favorites.
not gonna get. I think we're
Okay,
all
listen.
voted.
you. Listen, here, no
A
one
for
can raise
effort.
their hand for Intro
A
to
for
Nuts.
effort.
Intro to Nuts is a
Yeah.
good
It's
episode. It's a
fine.
good
Yeah, A
episode.
for effort.
Fine enough.
Alex, are you pity voting it or is it your actual
No,
favorite?
no. I'm.
You've raised your hand 3 times.
I know. I
Do you
I
know
raised
how
my
this
hand
works?
once.
There's only 4 of them.
know. No, I don't. And
We're all winners here.
I've already pre-gamed with some alcohol, so that's part of
He's the one in
this
charge of us.
Oh,
Yeah.
I also pregame with alcohol.
Dad's
Are you
drunk?
talking about for Zooms or what?
Just- Matt's just
We're
always.
currently
I thought that was part of the
alcohol.
user license agreement. Is you guys
Won't let you sign on unless you've had a couple drinks. Yeah.
yeah.
You got to blow above a certain level.
All
You're out.
right. So intro to knots. Did you know that the first like 5 minutes of the episode are one continuous shot?
Yeah.
That's a
To do
cool
that whole-
thing.
Attention to
That's
that.
Mad respect
that's
for
a
that.
cool thing, but it's also kind of lame because it seems like it's something that they wanted to do for the whole episode and could have potentially done for the whole episode.
They couldn't
it
do it for
feels
the whole
like they-
episode.
Gave up halfway, like 5
They
minutes
tried.
into it.
No, they could not. That's what Andy has said about it. They could not
Yeah.
pull it off for the whole episode. That was the original plan. And if you look at how they staged the shots and how it looks, it makes sense. But they actually just could not get through it and pull it off. So
I mean, you
that's
can
why they
do
changed
like
it.
clever shots.
Abed
You
even
can
has
do
that
clever
line, "This is
cuts
all
to make it
possibly
look
real
like a
time."
continuous angle.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
feel like if they weren't going to stick to it, they should have reshot the first part of it, because then it's like, oh wow, that's really cool, and then it just kind of stops, and the episode, I don't know.
Yeah.
So
feels
my
weird.
Just think
counterpoint,
thematically.
My
I
Counterpoint,
my
Mike.
hot take counterpoint.
Okay.
Continuous shot is only cool for film nerds. Like yourself.
Okay.
So
That's
no one else
true.
cares.
Who
So there's
else
no
was
reason to
watching
continue.
Community?
He's right. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
listen,
No
Apparently
one.
not
both
enough.
right.
Yeah.
You're both right.
Not enough
Nobody
nerds.
but film nerds was watching Community. And
Based on the
continuous-
numbers, this may
And
be
no one
true.
other than film nerds gives a shit about Continuous Shot. No one cares. I love them, but no one else even notices them. And they're like,
Yeah.
that was all one shot. And they're like, oh,
Yeah.
really? Cool. And they move on. They don't give a fuck.
It doesn't tank the episode at all, but it's a little weird. It's a little weird.
We watched them yesterday back to back to back to back.
Nice.
And it was because it's just like an hour and 45 minutes or hour and 30 minutes. And I am not a season 4 hater by any means. And I like Intro to Knots. But I will say that when you watch them back to back to back to back, the first 10 minutes of dialogue in Intro to Knots feels really clunky in comparison.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And it gets into it once we get into the episode, we lose that clunkiness, but the entire setup from the moment Annie walks in through the whole present get up and all of that, it doesn't feel crisp at all. And that's something that I only notice whenever I'm doing that juxtaposition. And like I said, I like that episode. But it was something that I noticed this time. And I was like, oh,
Well,
okay.
we even watched them today backwards. Like we started at 4.
Yeah.
So, I mean, even then I had noticed that anyway.
Mhm.
Yeah. We went backwards because we were watching Comparative Religion last, like with the rewatch. But
Mhm.
yeah,
Smart.
it was weird going in that direction though, because like the first 3 seasons, like they're all pretty ambitious like episodes for what they are.
Mhm.
And even season 4 though too, because they do still try, like it's
Definitely.
just that the other 3 seasons like were able to hit their ambitions, and season 4, like you just explained, Matt, like they literally tried and failed to make it all one shot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the episode that's there is like an evidence of that failure, and it's like a shame because there's still good jokes in it and stuff. I don't hate the episode. It's like
No.
it's like a worse bottle episode than like Cooperative Calligraphy, but it's still like there's still
it's kind of
it's
hard
just-
to be cooperative calligraphy. I mean,
Sure.
that's the reoccurring point. It's like even the episodes where people aren't like Intro to Knots or the collective side related to season 4. It's not that it's bad television. It's just that there's a standard that gets built through seasons 1 through 3 that they don't have, because they don't have Dan, and they don't have that chaos that he creates that makes it that type of episode. And I think that's just the way he produced stuff. I think it's still good television. It's just not what we were used to, and that hurt it. I remember defending season 4 during season 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I was right there with you. I just don't.
Yeah. Yes.
I think Intro to, like, again, I don't hate season 4. Intro to Knots for me is one of the weaker episodes because it focuses so much, like you're saying, it's a rehash of a bottle episode and intergroup conflict, but like less interesting. And I also don't like Cornwallis as like the antagonist. So the focus being so heavy on him and like him stirring up trouble in the group was. And there's not that heart because, like, you got Comparative Religion, which is really group dynamic centric. You've got Abed's Uncontrollable Christmas, again, group emotional dynamic centric. And then you have Regional Holiday Music, again, same thing. Even in the construct of homages, they were still focusing on like very emotional beats. And like Intro to Knots loses that because it's not really about that. And then Intro to Knots just introduces a whole bunch of like plot random threads that just kind of appear, and that's like rehashing Troy and Britta, and like it's stuff that like we've seen done before but not as good, and it's not like holiday centric enough for me to like ignore that. So like it's not like I'm distracted by a nice catchy musical number and can ignore the weak plot.
It just doesn't have the weight. I mean, it just doesn't have the emotional weight, and that's the reoccurring problem with season 4.
It's
I do
like
have to
Community.
say-
Go ahead.
I was about to say, I do have to say though, Abed is on point the entire episode.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's one of the things that actually
From line one.
Yes.
So this is Christmas.
That's
So this is Christmas.
Abed and the kittens that they named after Danny Pudi's real life children.
That's
Like
what
those
I-
are the stars of the episode.
It was like, in these two are Jeffrey.
Jeffrey.
I do
This is
think
also
that, like,
honestly. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, and I don't know if this is a hot take because I don't know how everyone feels about Kevin, but I thought this was a good episode for Kevin.
Oh, yes.
Until the
Yeah.
end. Until the very
Yeah.
end. He's
Yeah.
like, this
Listen.
is Bang, I'm on it.
Yeah.
Shangnesia is a completely underrated character
you.
plot
Thank you.
on
Come
that shit.
on.
It's so underrated.
You don't
It
really
was-
mean that. There's no way that's true.
Oh boy.
My name
I
is
like it a
Kevin. I
lot.
have
Use that one.
Shangnesia. I'm all in. I'm all in.
I laugh every
So
time.
I have a hot take on.
I'm
Intro to
all
Knots.
in on everything Chang
Okay.
does in the show.
My hot take on season 4 in general. If you could do something like you're doing with Welcome to Greendale and start someone with season 4, having never seen seasons 1, 2, and 3, they would enjoy it. And then they could go back. They would never think of season 4 as a bad season at all.
So what
That's
we are
probably
But I
true.
still wouldn't say
Yeah.
someone
True,
should
yeah.
like do that first.
True.
I
It
don't
doesn't
know.
make any sense.
Yeah,
but if
no.
you did that,
I see what
Yeah.
you mean, and I think if you
I
didn't
agree, yeah.
know any of the behind the scenes drama, it would
Sadia's not
definitely
going
Yes,
to.
the D
it
is.
would
Sadia won't.
yeah, it would definitely feel different. But
Mhm.
and it's hard to remove that when you already know about it. But
Mhm.
I still feel
I-
like you'll know kind of. You'll tell that
You'll-
something is off a
there
little.
We
We
bit.
will see.
We'll be able to tell you next year.
Well, see,
Yeah, that's
the thing.
exciting for you guys. I'm excited for that.
I'm
able
hopeful
to
that
let
you
you know.
will solidify my theory because when I was watching it live, everyone was like, critics were like, "Oh, we just don't like this." I'm like, "But can you tell me why you don't like this, or do
Yeah.
you just not like this because you know Dan Harmon's not there?" Because
Right.
if it would have had his name on it, I think people would have. There are still duds for sure, but that is also true of all of the seasons. There
Yeah.
are not
Mhm.
great episodes in every season, and he's been in some of, and he's been in them. I just think that like the idea that he wasn't there, like preemptively colored
back.
so many people's perceptions, and to the point of like people hating things that like genuinely were fine. Like there are some really good gems and there are some moments where there are out of character moments, and again happens every season. But like again, I'm not gonna get on a soapbox. I'm not one to like idolize Dan Harmon. Like he
Certainly.
has issues too. But like, you
Yeah.
know, the writers who were there, who were established, I think those are the strongest episodes. Some of the weaker ones were ones with like newer people who didn't quite grasp,
Mhm.
I think, some of the
Which probably
emotional
would have been true
component.
anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Would have happened anyway 4 seasons into a show.
And you factor that in with like, is Chevy gonna show up on set this week? Are we gonna have him in this episode? Is it gonna
Or
be his
do
body
you have
double?
to,
Not
do you have to
there.
rewrite because
Not,
Chevy's
yeah.
no longer there, which
Yeah,
happens to Knots because Chevy's not there, and the entire thing they do with Kevin was originally something
Wow,
Pierce
I
was going to do.
didn't
And I
realize
like
that he
Pierce,
wasn't
but I
there.
didn't
That's
even
how
think about
little
it.
I care about him. I
Yeah,
forgot that
and
he's
that's
not
part
in
of
another
it.
episode.
and
Not
Shirley's
that
not
episode,
there
yeah.
when the kittens are handed out.
Like,
because
of
she's
course,
allergic
if
to
you're
cats.
dealing with all of
Yeah.
that on a show, it's gonna affect the show creatively a little
Yeah.
bit. There's
Notice
just no
Oh,
chance
yeah.
that it
Oh,
doesn't.
of course.
But they
Definitely.
did a good job, just
They
like
did.
they did in 5 and 6 as they were losing
Mhm.
people. Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
Chevy,
What they
Chevy-
Anyway,
Chevy's already
super
gone
Christmassy.
by then.
Alex did his so.
All right. Oh yeah.
Whoops.
All right. So no, it's my safe word.
I feel
I was
like
gonna
every
say,
one of
they're
these
kind of-
turns
I
into
didn't
an
wanna know
argument
that.
about season 4 every
Like
time.
we're not even arguing. That's the
Well,
thing.
of
Like we're all
course.
pretty much in
Oh,
agreement.
yeah.
It's like
so-
no one's on the other side of this.
Literally
Hashing it
just this is literally just audio proof of our DM thread.
Yes.
We're all Britta in the protesting episode.
Yeah.
Like, why are you yelling at us? No one's
What's
disagreeing
on
with
the other
you.
side of this issue?
So favorite parts of episode 4 of season 4 intro to Knots. So we have favorite parts.
oh, I do.
Okay.
Abed saying, "Oh, so Annie lives here now."
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Right away, he gets it. I love that.
Oh, mine is
Love
just Abed. Period.
The entire
Yeah.
episode. he's-
Everything
he's
Abed
right.
does in that episode is top notch, and it is classic Abed. Except he's older because we're 4 years in. It's
Yeah.
all great.
I like the knot reveal.
Yes.
Like how do you?
He made to the bunny
Um,
ears and
I don't love the way that people like specifically Annie treats it, but I love the reveal that Shirley is on the path for valedictorian.
Yeah.
Yes.
Some follow up
Oh,
with that.
yeah.
Like that was really great.
Yeah, I
Judgy
like during
face.
that scene
Like
where
you picked Britta before me, and Britta's like none taken.
during that scene they're all trying to figure out like who it is, and Troy's like, "Is it me?"
Is it me?
Also, it's a small moment. I like when Troy's trying to get out of the conversation with Britta, and he's like, "I've just seen an old friend," and walks over to Abed to talk, and Britta just goes with it and stops talking. I thought that was a funny small moment.
She in
Also-
fact says to him, "Hurry back, hurry
Yeah.
back."
Yeah.
I say the eternal gif that I use of Judgy face is
Judgy face.
Britta
Judgy
is
face.
my
Judgy
favorite.
face is
Or
one
Do-
of my favorite gifts ever.
Donald's delivery of, "Oh, there's no heat. If
There's
there was
no-
heat, I'd be rambling, and I'm not rambling. There's no heat." It's really funny.
Top notch.
Sounds like a pretty funny episode.
It's pretty great.
It's
Sponsored.
A for effort, but
Listen,
Adequate.
Listen, if it's a community episode, it's probably great.
Yeah.
There's just going to be some stuff in it that might be less great depending on your taste. but
it's good. But
And
like
there's
season one,
Honestly, for
Go
me,
ahead.
if they cut out that present intro, I probably would feel not even the way I feel about it. Like if you cut out the first 10 minutes of, oh, a present, you brought a present, you brought a present, like it like
Hang on.
It just
I'm
happens so
sorry.
slow
I'm
and
gonna
not
have to disagree
snappy.
with you because the present build up gives us
That is-
Abed's,
message of the
Yeah.
but it gives us Abed's entrance of, so this is Christmas, just this. Like
Yeah.
I don't think
Oh,
it lands
it-
without.
I think it lands.
You think it
without
lands without it? I don't know.
Absolutely.
I just love
James,
the idea.
James
that
in the chat says, so you put Abed in a John McClane tank top, and you just have him literally sit on the couch the entire episode.
Yeah.
That's the
the
problem.
the like the
That's not a problem. I'm so sorry. That's not a problem.
the audio gag of like the popcorn being ready of like,
Yes.
like just
Watching
that.
it last night, I was going off about the fact that like this is an uncomfortable, potentially illegal situation that Abed is
Super illegal.
watching as if he's not in it, and I.
He's like, I'm not in any legal trouble here.
He's
I'm
not
simply
involved
John
at
McClane.
all. He's
Yeah.
not even present. He's watching their party, and I just love it.
There's a ton of jokes that work really well in the episode. It's just that the
Yeah.
conflict doesn't work that well.
yeah, the
and it's
conflict
like
is weak.
the 25th time of, oh, we've got to do this or we're gonna get an
I
F
know.
on this paper, so now we're kidnapping this guy. I don't know. Yeah.
I mean, they
it
are in
reverts
college.
back to all their like very stereotypical season one tropes of like Annie will do all the work, Britta's the slacker, oh Troy and Britta, oh Jeff and Britta had like it's just very tired,
Yeah.
I think, and like the villain of this season is so weak and annoying for me that it just the conflict is like blah. Like I
It
don't
doesn't work. as
I don't
well.
buy it doesn't work
Yeah.
for me.
The
And
winger
the
speech at the end.
serialization hurt. The
Yeah, I had to
serialization
think.
hurt.
Okay, so I remember very, very vividly trying to figure out what that winger speech was supposed to mean. Like, the
I know.
obligation is the gift, and like, I think Matt, when I was writing that review, I was like, Matt, did you understand what this was? Because I don't get what they're trying to say
explained it
here.
Michael last night.
Like, it took me a while because I was like,
Yeah,
I don't think I
it's-
get what they're trying to say.
Yeah,
and
it's
that
just the
doesn't-
basic
smiles
idea
and
that your
nods at it,
friendship
so you're
is
like,
the
oh, yeah, they're
obligation.
good.
It's
They
that,
did
and it's
Well,
a
that
it's,
you have-
doesn't work well. It
That
just
you
doesn't
have
work.
somebody close enough to you that you feel an obligation to get them a gift.
But yeah, as far as you can go
is
with it.
The gift. I think
Right.
that's it.
I mean, I think
yeah, I know that's
yeah.
the thing. It's like
When she-
again,
when-
when you get to the heart of
When
it.
Jillian
it's-
explained it, it made sense. I was like, oh, the fact that you feel like you have to get someone a gift means that you care enough about them.
Yeah.
And that
Wait,
itself can be
wait, Steven's drinking out of a 2-liter bottle?
I
And I
was
swear
wondering when we were
Ed
gonna
just
bring
held
this up.
something that looked like a gallon of something.
Yeah, I was wondering when we were going to bring
What
up
the hell?
It's like 1 liter. It just looks like 2.
Okay.
It's
Like-
huge. Yeah,
Drink
I
the
was
water, everybody.
No, his is
so glad you brought this up. Let's get into it. Like, what
Doesn't
do
look
we
like a
do?
giant.
I'm
Steven, you
concerned
can't do
for
stuff like that in front of Dad. He'll call you out.
I know.
these kids today and their drinking problems.
burner, guys. We got to deal with this water bottle issue.
Hydrate, everyone. Hydrate.
Water bottle is fine, but that's a lot
Oh,
of soda to
drinking
be
water.
drinking at 9:30 at night. Are you okay?
No, I know. This is supposed to literally take you all day. It like has like time markers on it, and I
Oh.
drink like 4 of them a day. It's really
Oh, that sounds horrible.
I don't know.
I'm
don't
happy
know.
for you if you feel better. Yeah.
So
If Kylie was smiling when you described the water bottle, I would have been more excited about it, but she was not smiling.
It's here.
Yeah.
Whenever you need
it is a
water,
thing
I
that
have
exists.
water
It's
though.
true. It's like
So-
having an entire like carafe.
It's like having a faucet in your apartment. It sounds really neat.
I want one.
It's like on-demand water.
I'm sorry, Ed. I do love you.
So season 3 regional holiday music.
I
my
love
gosh,
it.
everything
Which
is
we were
perfect.
watching on
Favorite
Tuesday.
parts. Let's
Everything is
go.
perfect.
The rap
Um,
was just so great. You know, because of course, like Donald Glover's rapping is gonna be good. You know, and it was a very Childish Gambino during that time period esque like energy and stuff. And then when Abed came into it, it's just great. The whole
You
thing.
can tell they were having a blast.
Yeah.
What I
Yeah.
appreciated about it is that obviously Donald Glover is an accomplished rapper, but Troy Barnes isn't.
Is not.
So I appreciated the fact that it's a decent rap, but it's not good.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah.
And
It's
Abed
still
aren't
very
even
much-
on the music,
It's
and I'm
just-
like, yes. Of
Well, they
course
didn't
would
ask
be.
Donald to write it, and I think that was intentional.
Yeah. But that I think everything that's subtle, like just at the very end of the rap, you can see Annie pulling back the
Yes.
curtain before you switch back to what's really happening.
Yeah.
The
Their
Kings of
faces,
their faces.
whatever she's like, you guys never let us rap with like let me
Yeah,
never
you never let me rap.
We're
Which
gonna
for
need all
one
hands on deck. We're gonna go to
implies-
regional. Yeah,
implies this
it's
happens a
super
lot.
Yeah,
creepy.
exactly. It implies
How
that this happens
often?
a lot.
Yeah.
Every song, like every Glee reference, the transition. One of my favorite underrated things is right in the beginning of Teach Me How to Understand Christmas. Like Jeff is looking around because he hears the music and he's not sure what's happening.
He does hear the music.
He's like, what is happening right now?
Is this a
Um,
bit?
Or like the
Is
how
this
is your piano still playing this
Yes,
song?
how's your
That was
everything's
great.
cooler when cameras are spinning, which is
Yeah.
such a Glee thing.
And then
that
they do it
did.
visually. Yeah. Yeah.
Singing and
Everything.
dancing in unison.
I realized this time around that like they didn't keep in the take that they had originally had, because I love the bloopers of Taryn, Danny, Donald, and Allison when they're trying to convert her. Originally, she starts to scream, but there was no usable take because it just cuts away from Annie because Allison could not do it without screaming.
I'd
I mean,
imagine.
they're killing.
I love that scene specifically because why is Troy behind the door? What is he doing behind the door?
But like,
Just in case.
if you even had a passing knowledge of Glee, it was funny. Like, this is the thing I like about Community homages is like you don't have to know everything about Glee to get this, but if you do, it's a bonus
better.
because
Yes.
you understand so many jokes, like the Kings of Leon thing, the sweater vest, the Mr. Rad versus Mr. Shoe, the like Brad the piano player sitting there.
Looks
The-
just like him.
who
too.
looks
It's such
just
a
like him, the
image.
risers. It's like everything is so on point, and like all of the songs are such good like mixes of original stuff, and then obviously like Teach Me How to Understand Christmas being like a mockery of like those you know
Baby.
Christmas Santa Baby. So like it's a good mix. The heart is there. I have a special place in my heart for it because I watched it live, and then 3 months went by before there was a new episode. So We'll See You All After regionals still makes me a little emotional.
I remember that too. Yep.
So Jen, here's a question though.
Yes.
So Glee, I will argue, has not aged as well as say Community. Most people agree with that. Like you watch that first episode.
Has anyone tried to rewatch Glee? I
have tried.
You have?
Want
So
to?
tough.
I keep thinking about how
scared.
and it was monumental at
It was
the time,
huge.
and we have not talked about it as a society again at
Well,
all.
I mean, we've talked it like it's gotten a lot of.
I still have a
press
huge
feedback.
soft spot for
In the
it.
dark corners of
Yeah,
Right.
I
So
think-
most
Zach's
people who
room,
watch
they still
Glee
talk about
watch
it.
Glee live, right? So that's the only reason people go back to it. So I don't
Yeah.
think like Gen Z is gonna go back and watch Glee.
I hope not.
And
No.
people, it's not like when Community gets put on Netflix and everyone's all like, "Oh wow, what is this show?"
Right.
People,
Yeah.
it's Glee. Nah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
will
Like,
future
oh,
generations
stop.
appreciate this
Box
episode
check.
because they
We're
won't
gonna get
have
made
the
fun of
Glee.
for having watched it.
I
Yeah,
think
that's what's gonna happen.
Glee's got some
will.
campy fun though.
Yeah, that's
If
the
you,
thing. Like, if
it's
you-
a lot of fun.
if you like, that's the thing. I think if you understood Glee at the time and you like got that there was a show that was on at the time that was a musical comedy, like you would probably understand enough to like feel like this was a good homage. But it stands on its own. If you've never
Mhm.
watched Glee, it's still a hilarious
Funny episode, yeah.
And it's so good with the like again, this is the second Christmas episode where Abed is the heart of the storytelling and driving force of things. And so I think that it works on that level that a lot of other episodes don't work on, which is it's rooted in the characters and it's rooted in their individual personalities. And obviously, like the way that they all get converted is very like typical of who they are, which is what I like too.
Mhm.
And then like it's the great, I mean, honestly, like Taran Killam is so good in
Underrated
this, and
guest spot.
So
I'm
creepy.
so mad that he's like only in one episode
Yeah.
because I would have loved to have him
Fits in
for
with the vibe
more.
of Community super well.
He does, and he's like he was so great. He was so on point, and I think that like it's just that to me too because I grew up watching Taran Killam and things, so it just has a lot of nostalgia for me, but also just a solid, funny episode. Man.
It's a great really funny.
It is funny.
It's a great episode.
And like to the point of Abed being the heart. Like they talk about it's been this dark, bleak year, and you have Jeff's cynicism and everything really kind of painting the way everybody else is feeling, like influencing the way everybody else is feeling. And Abed having just had this found family when the year before, right? His mom is like, peace, I got a new family.
Yeah.
And they also don't plan to spend Christmas with him. I mean, that's part of what happens with 3 is that he's going to have some sort of issue because they're not going to be there for him.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons he can get on board so quick. And my favorite part about the show is that you don't have to know jack about a Community episode for most of them to understand the next one or whatever one you want to watch. You can watch Regional Holiday Musical and not know anything about Community,
and it's hilarious.
Be blown away by it.
Yeah.
The same thing with Uncontrollable, although it's a little bit harder because it's claymation, stop motion.
Yeah.
That'll actually
but yeah,
get
it happens a
Silicone
lot,
bodies.
especially in season 3. They're really good at setting up everything in the first 90
Also,
seconds.
I tweeted this today, but like as I was watching like the first 3 in a row, when I got to 3, I was like, dang, this season is really well and vibrantly lit compared
They
to
look so pretty going
Right?
from
Like, I was like,
because
dang,
especially
this is
going
so
season 1 live action,
One,
season
yeah.
2 being animated, and then
Mhm.
season 3, they look really pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is
It's-
super
And
well
that's-
lit.
that's
And then
actually a
season
testament to all
5, it's
4
like
of
they
them.
turned all the lights off.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's a
yeah.
testament to
Yeah.
all 4 of
Season
them.
6,
They
they're in the
are
basement.
They are visually very distinct Christmas episodes. Like
Mhm.
all
Yeah,
4 of them
totally.
Yeah.
have unique looks that fit the style they're going for, and it
Mhm.
really works. Like the camera crew on that show is always brilliant.
Mhm.
And I am ship trash, so I just have to give a shout out to the fact that like we get like another Annie Abed moment at the end of
Oh,
No Holiday.
where?
She holds his
Oh,
hand in
they're
the
holding
chair.
No, I was like, wait, where?
Oh, so it's one
They
of those
got
like
to
our
half
hands touched
first
in the
base.
hallway.
No,
We're
they're
destined
like
for each other.
holding
It's a
hands.
full-on
They're
hold.
holding.
They're
hands
holding
while-
hands. Yeah.
Listen to me. When that happened, when it happened, and we watched it live, this woman melted.
My
She
hot
comes
take
in-
is that Abed is asexual. That's
She
just my
comes
take.
in. Oh, I think we have a lot of proof that he's not, though.
Yeah.
Like he outright
could-
in season 1 is like, I pull tail. I don't
He
need y'all.
does.
Hey,
He does flat out
I-
tell them that he
I take
I
that
think the
point, but I think I
show
have some
writes him
examples
like
that I
he's-
could. Yeah,
I think that well, anyway, I'm not gonna get on that.
there's an
but-
argument
doesn't know what to
there.
do
I would
with
love to
Abed.
have that argument sometime. Yeah.
But like Annie, sure, we could have a round table about
God.
this. But like Annie
Abed sexuality.
a round table. Does Abed fuck? What's up?
like Annie
Abed
comes in,
fuck.
Annie comes in and like very specifically like doesn't sit in the seat because that's Abed's seat and they all live together. She just sits on the arm of the chair and looks at him and waits for
Michael.
him to come and then grabs his hand. And then you have Troy and Britta all cutesy and coupley in the other chair.
Matching sweaters too.
Mm.
Yeah.
Troy and Britta are
Yeah.
matching
Are we-
sweaters.
I'm sorry. Are we going to talk about regional holiday music and not talk about the funniest line of the entire episode, which is the dean looking at his program and going,
Oh,
Britta's in this?
Britta's in this.
In this?
Can we not talk
Britta's
about
scene where Britta comes
performance.
out.
Britta's
Oh my God,
whole
it's great.
dance
Gillian
and song.
Jacobs,
That was
queen of all of our hearts?
Queen.
Oh,
In
Britta's
season
in
3,
this?
she has now danced twice.
Yeah.
I love when Gillian gets to be that type of silly that's just weird. I think it's
Yeah.
so funny
Weird.
and she does it so well. My favorite line in the whole episode, I think, is when Shirley is squirming over the kids singing like the religious song that's totally written to trigger Shirley. And they sing a line about public schools, and she's like, "They're not going to tell you. They're not going to tell you."
That's what they do. That's what
It's
they
really
do.
funny how
That is
yeah.
So
perfect.
good.
Public
I-
Abed's so good.
So good.
Jesus Christ.
I'm gonna like
Happy birthday, Jesus.
I'm
And
so sad that
Pierce-
she doesn't get a longer song.
Cut the cake.
Pierce
More
looks
more
so-
singing.
Pierce looks so pleased.
Ah.
as
Yes.
Aaron's
Yes.
because he has won, and his look on his face is so satisfied and like, yes, I have accomplished my.
Pierce also responsible for the other best line of the episode, which is, "What the hell are regionals?"
Yes.
Close.
It was really funny because I legitimately, it's at the end of one of our episodes, but I had to ask Taryn because we didn't ask him the first time around. We were like, Taryn, what is regionals? And he's like made up some sort of thing that he assumes that they are.
Wait, hang on.
I get.
Do y'all really not know what regionals are?
No, I do.
Well, I was in show choir.
We were
and
show choir.
regionals
I
wasn't
do,
really
and
a
regionals
thing. You
didn't
just go
come-
to.
I thought all of you were in show
Didn't
choir.
Didn't he say like
Raise your hand if you were in show
wasn't.
choir.
I wasn't in show choir.
Oh my gosh.
What?
Do you guys want to start a show choir?
I feel vindicated, and now I
But there's
really
some-
love you.
But
Ed.
here's my
in theater competitions, there are
Here's my
regionals.
thing
sing.
though, because he says, I feel like he says though in the episode that sectionals comes after regionals, which is
He
not.
does.
It's
No.
not true because that
It's
is
not
the
true.
reverse.
In
So then I'm
Glee, it
like,
was
what is even happening?
regionals. Yeah.
Yes, I know, because like I'm
Yeah.
like, what is happening though?
It was like
Anyways.
regional sectionals, nationals.
Yes, out of
Yeah.
all of the
forget
songs that get
state.
stuck in my head every Christmas season,
Forget
it is
state.
"Teach Me How to Understand Christmas." Every year, I would just start humming that, and no one knows. Like, not enough people in my life know that song.
That's not one you want to sing out loud like on the train
No.
or something. Like get some looks.
I just love the
get-
Descent,
Ooh,
Allison
ooh.
Brie.
Just
It's a madness.
Yeah.
I
Only
get
Allison
baby
Brie.
boomer Santa stuck
Yes.
in my head.
That's my
Baby
favorite in the
Oh,
whole
that's a
episode.
The
rough
gravel
hook,
of
yeah.
Chevy's singing voice, like "You're welcome." It's horrifying, honestly.
Yeah. I always
Like-
thought, like, the first time I saw it, I assumed he was being dubbed, and that wasn't
Yeah,
actually.
that's what I thought too. I didn't.
Oh, I'm serious. Like,
I think
didn't-
Chevy's the
I-
type of person though who'd be like, "Oh, I'm a really good singer. Put me on."
So I
there.
got this.
Oh,
Do it
he
right
has
He's
now."
sang
perfect
before in the
pitch.
show
You
and it
heard
sounded
this,
nothing like
right?
that.
This is all stuff Chevy has said to them. He can play piano. He can play
Yeah.
all these instruments. He has perfect pitch. That's all things he told Dan Harmon at some point during the series. So
Can anyone
yeah,
disprove it? I mean,
Kinda wonder at a
Baby
certain
Boomer
point when
Santa
they
speaks
stopped.
for itself.
You kind of wonder at a certain
Yeah.
point when they stopped
Good point. Sing
writing
about
Pierce
it.
and just let Chevy show up on set.
yeah.
Right.
Chevy says something racist in parentheses. Great work.
Well,
Here's your check.
Nice job.
Yeah.
His
Yeah,
reaction.
I've
to
seen the
song
I've seen
felt
the
very
notes.
genuine.
They were made an effort to write
I'm
stuff.
sure.
Did you see the vulture thing from last year where Dan specifically talks about going to his trailer and Chevy just saying all kind of crazy stuff and they just write it down and they just have him say it later.
Jackpot.
Like, well, this writer's pretty good. Yeah.
It's like
'Cause
in
they're
that
just quoting
episode with the
Chevy.
sketch
Finally.
comedy group, and they're like, he really
Literally.
likes gay jokes.
Well,
This is my not
Right,
surprised
great
face.
it's like old white man says. Like, no
Oh,
wonder
oh.
they're writing everything I'm thinking.
Okay.
Well,
oh, wait.
virtual system analysis. The line he says is, "I don't understand what the hell is going on." That's what he said during the table read because he didn't have a line, and they just stuck it in there. So when you see Chevy in that one moment, Chevy said that at the table read, so they put that bit into the into the episode.
Not surprise face, right?
Yeah. Oh no.
It's another one of those
Yeah.
things where, like, if you remove the knowledge that we have from it, I think Pierce is hilarious. And there are certainly
Yeah.
stretches of the series where he's the character making me laugh the most. But
Absolutely.
because you know anything about Chevy and know that, like, it's not jokes being told from someone who knows that it's wrong. It's like stuff
Yeah.
that this guy said off the cuff.
You think,
it does,
wow, that's really
it does
funny.
tinge it. But I think a lot of Pierce's stuff is very, very funny.
Mhm.
Agreed.
Baby Boomer
Alex,
Santa is the
Alex,
best.
grab it now.
Yep. There it is.
So
Good. Fun.
yeah, no, that's great. Michael, you're so good to me. So yeah, why don't we jump
I love this
into
man, he's great.
Abed's Uncontrollable Christmas? What do we got from that episode? Anything
It's-
good?
What don't we have from
What
this?
don't we
It's
have-
the best
talked about this
heart
before.
episode. It's the
Yeah.
absolute best one on the heart of all three of all four of them. It's
Yeah.
the best one.
Absolutely.
It's the one you can
100%.
get. It's the one that
Here's my hot
all,
take.
I'll get to Bjork speed.
As soon as listen, as soon
wanna
as they
hear
made
it.
fun of Lost, nope.
Oh,
Listen,
I was all
I've
in.
always
when
thought
the
that
lack of
joke is pretty
payoff
dumb.
made a lot
I
of
think that
sense when
joke
the
is
show
dumb.
wasn't done.
I don't like that joke either because Lost actually is a great show, top to bottom, T to B.
You
That's
were
my favorite
watching
line.
during
I
season
love that
4
joke.
of Lost. That lack of payoff feel was real.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I
But
mean,
this
at the
didn't air
time,
during
it worked.
Season 4.
Yeah, they're in
aired-
season 3,
well,
right?
Lost ended in 2010 or 2011.
So this would have
Lost
been
was-
around
Oh, it's
just
11,
after
so
Lost
it
would have already
ended.
been done when this aired.
Yeah.
So yeah, are we still have some Lost truthers here on the community Lost?
I've seen a season and a half of it.
That's my favorite line.
Never seen it.
Lost is great.
Never seen an episode of
Oh,
Lost.
I
What's your
love
favorite
Lost.
line?
Said.
I
Love
But
that
I've never
line.
seen an
Yeah.
episode of
And I
Lost,
love
Favorite
so
line?
I'm missing out on two
Favorite
key
line?
moments.
Wow.
So.
No,
Ugh.
I mean, I'm kind of joking, but
Yeah.
I know.
mean, I love.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, how about another 3 seconds on that third button? That's
Okay,
always
let's
funny.
talk
That
about
is
the
never
casual
not
sexual
funny.
assault of Chang, I
Yes.
guess.
Oh yeah.
Not a snowman.
Come on, 10 more seconds of that. That was pretty
Since
funny.
you got
It's
started.
hard.
I posted this, but like the is this an intervention? Surprise!
Oh, the surprise.
But like I talked about that with Michael and Jillian. I was like, but then Jeff is like, we told you not to say that. Like
You promised
clearly
not to do
Surprise.
that.
you promised not to do that. Like they had to tell him multiple times not to say surprise.
So
And
Aved walks
then
in
he
and I yell
says surprise when he does it as
Yeah.
a like, haha, I didn't listen to you. That is
So
such
you
a
guys, Jen
perfect
knows
joke.
Annie's song.
The
I
theme of this
do.
episode was such a like
Do love-
daunting.
I sang it on your I
task.
sang it on your episode.
The theme of this episode is what?
It was such a daunting task, and they like knocked it out of the park. And I'm sure this was such a challenge to completely recreate the show of their world animated for a week. And I think they used physical models for everything. Yeah.
They
Oh,
did.
yeah.
So that's super impressive. And they
Go-
pulled it off and they blew it out of the water. And it feels just like the specials that it's homaging.
Mhm.
But for
Yeah.
some reason, there's something that I can't put my finger on about it that doesn't resonate with me like the other ones do. I don't know why. I really
Weird.
don't.
Weird. Have you not
He-
watched it and looked in the background and noticed that Chang is stalking them the entire time?
It's real fun.
Maybe that's what you're missing. Go back and watch it again.
That's
Maybe.
the hook, yeah.
I will
No.
watch it again, sure.
Go
I
back.
appreciate
Go,
that.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Sorry.
No.
I appreciate like for me it's kind of there's a lot of it. It's one of those ones that's very projected from Abed's mind sort of episodes, and we get a few of those. Virtual system analysis is the most extreme version of it, but it's kind of like him sort of putting these ideas of what he sees his study members being on him. On them, and so that's interesting whenever you start to like break down what they could mean. And obviously we don't always know, but like Pierce being a teddy bear,
Yeah.
what does that
Yeah.
mean? But whereas some of them are far more like understandable. Britta being a robot.
Yeah.
Jeff being Jack in the Box. Annie,
A teddy bear is an
being
old
the
style
ballerina,
gift.
and Troy like being the toy soldier. Like all of those sort of make more sense.
Yeah.
And
I'm not saying that it's not well done. I just maybe it's that it doesn't make me laugh near as much as the other ones. That
It's
the
true.
heart it resonates super well, but it feels like it goes on for like 45 minutes.
I mean, and I think
Those
that
feel like a long
the biggest
episode.
thing
Not long enough.
One, I love
Sure.
it. It reminds me of like my childhood, but also I think
Yeah.
maybe part of it is that there is such like a specific claymation stop motion animated things that are a part of my childhood that trigger nostalgia in a way
Yeah.
that like this doesn't, because I was an adult when I saw it. So it's not nostalgic. It's like a nice homage to something that was nostalgic without kind of
Sure.
triggering those feelings. So there's a
Sure.
little disconnect there. But like all of the subtle things I think I always appreciate in this, in addition to like when they peel back different things and you see the study room, and like when you're thinking through, like even just today rewatching it being like, oh my gosh, like where actually
What are they
was everyone
doing? Yeah.
going? Like where was everyone going? Like
Yeah.
when they left the study room, or like when with the train specifically.
The
I was like,
train, yeah.
are they dragging him out of the room?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
where's
they're
Abed
dragging him
going?
out of
How
the
is this
room.
all
Actually,
working?
Graham, like in real life
couches.
delinquent.
I
Yeah,
love
but,
when
like,
we get
but
the
you think
clip
about
show
it-
moment where we see them actually around
Yes.
the table doing
Yeah.
it.
But then you think about it, and like Abed and Pierce go off on this adventure, and like Duncan, Troy, and Annie are somehow somewhere else.
Mhm.
And like then
Yeah.
Troy and Annie leave because Duncan's surprised that he sees them back. Anyway, Duncan is a great addition to this, also because I
Definitely.
always love anything that gives us more John Oliver.
Definitely.
The Christmas pterodactyl is iconic. I will die on that hill.
Yeah.
There's nothing
Yeah.
better
The Christmas
than a
pterodactyl.
freaking Christmas pterodactyl that
If you get a
implodes.
chance, go and find the article posted yesterday that we had. Don't
Yeah.
remember the time of the day, but it's the oral history of the episode. And they talk
Cool.
about how amazingly quick they pulled this thing off, and how much it took, and how they got developed, and how the idea, basically the intent was they were making an animation studio for Dan and Dino, and they want to use the money from this to make it work, and they spent too much money, and it didn't really help that much. But I mean, it was this really great story of how they get this glimmer of an idea, and they have like 2 weeks to write it, and then they've got very little time for them to record the audio, and then the animation is something they do in about 2 months. They have it finished on December 8th.
Wow.
It is done just the day before it is supposed to air, and they know it's supposed to air on December 9th. They say, I mean, that's part of the dialogue. So it's, I think their ability to pull that off adds something to it for me. I think
the story behind it, right? The making of adds to the lore of the episode, and that adds to the appreciation. And it's the second time, I think we first saw it with Modern Warfare, where you have a concept episode, where a community episode could be anything. And, we see it again later on with I really love the 8-bit episode personally, but it's
I
like,
do too.
Me too.
like it doesn't just have to be what you think of as TV. Like you see something totally different.
Yeah.
For me, also, the story itself is super important. I teach. I work in film. I work in theater. I teach theater and film history. And for me, one thing that I'm constantly trying to impart upon my students is that, like, the reason stories are so important to us is because life doesn't have any meaning, right? Like life is what we give. We give it its meaning because we have stories, we have narratives, and we look for those things. And this entire episode being about how Christmas is just a day on the calendar with, a bunch of different, histories or traditions, but what it means to you is what it means to you. It's what what meaning you've put upon it. And the same thing with people, the same thing with groups, the same thing with communities. And so I for me, as someone who, has spent a lot of his life sort of, pushing, like explaining that to people and pointing that out, in pointing out the importance of narrative, this episode gets to the heart of that, which is that, like, Christmas has meaning because we give it meaning, and that's the meaning of Christmas, whatever meaning we give it.
Right.
So yeah, for me, it works as like a life philosophy episode.
I like how we can all nod our heads when Michael starts with "Life has no meaning." I'm
like, life has
no meaning.
Killer winger speech, man. That was great.
Hey, you know what?
Talked about
Season's
this,
greetings from Michael from Welcome to Greenville.
I talked about this though when I talked about it with Michael and Jillian, is the idea that, like, I love in this one that you get a chance to see the growth from the first Christmas episode of, like, Christmas, meaning for Christmas, and like who you spend Christmas with evolves as you get older, and it means different things to you, like whether you're a parent, whether you're single, whether you're married, like it changes, and like where you live, like all these factors and play into it, and that's okay. And I think that that's what I love about this episode, is that it's emotionally driven, and it's an homage, because I think a lot of the times where the stories don't work is where they're just homages for the sake of, like, we really want to do this kind of episode, and there's no core, or there's no like really deep emotional heart to it. And this one is so nice, and you get such growth when you have, like, we talked about, like, Shirley going back for the menorah, like at the end, and so just those little kind of moments, and the subtle jokes, the, like, all of the really deep emotional stuff works super well. And I think that when you pair that together with, like, a real life lesson, like you're saying, Michael, it's just all around classic.
Also, it's the only Christmas episode that has Duncan in it, and he's the best character on the show.
Now let's talk about why Comparative Religion is the best Christmas episode. In my opinion, totally blows that one out of the water.
Are you going to describe that opinion? Because I can do that if you need to. I mean, it's the best dialogue is in season 1.
I love that it's like a regular episode, but it's still just such a strong Christmas episode of a television program. And I love the thoughtful conversation on religion that you never see on network TV like that, where the answer isn't always that the Christian is right. And I love when we get episodes that, I don't know, where Shirley gets to kind of see that, oh, the stuff that my religion does for me, other people's belief system does for them. Yeah. And for it to be an honest discussion while still being incredibly funny with the whole fight storyline and Anthony Michael Hall's killer performance. I think it's got to be my favorite one. I think it makes me feel a lot of the things that maybe the second one makes some of you guys feel. I really like the first one a lot.
Yeah.
It's my favorite. It's because the dialogue.
Did you say something was your favorite?
Yes,
Never say that.
Compared,
Wow.
compared as my favorite of the holiday episodes, and it's because the dialogue is better. I mean, I love all of them. I really love Uncontrollable. My wife is like, I enjoy the Glee episode.
Are you saying it's your
regionals a
third
lot.
favorite one, Alex, or you say we have 3 minutes left?
I have 3 words.
Uh-oh.
Anthony
Anthony
Michael
Michael
Hall.
Hall.
That is all you need.
He's great. He's great.
So great.
Man, he
He's the
kills
first villain
it.
on the
He
episode.
kills it.
Kills it.
He's great.
Yeah, he's the first
He's
villain.
dead,
on the show.
dude.
Well, I guess you could
Yeah.
argue that the debate episode had
Simmons.
Yeah.
Simmons.
Yeah.
It
I
is
asked Michael when
His
we were
natural
watching.
animal magnetism. Yes. So,
I asked
Simmons
Michael-
was just being a guy. Like he was just debating. Like he wasn't a
Doing his
villain.
job.
Yeah.
Nah, he was kind of a jerk.
He
Yeah,
just like
he was
wasn't
a jerk, but he
doing
was
that.
doing his. He was debating. Like
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's
knew
the
that
little
Jeff
Annie
was a-
Adderall song and everything.
Yes.
Like
Yeah,
he
that's
was
the line.
antagonizing.
That's such a
them
cringy
intentionally.
moment.
but he's not
Oh
a
my
villain
God.
like Mike is.
Mike's a
Mike's
legit
just gonna go to
Yeah, he's not a
Applebee's.
My
bull.
life
He
is
doesn't
a-
find a
I love that Applebee's line so much. Like, if this dude doesn't show up, we're definitely all going to
We're all
Applebee's,
going
right?
to
So I'm
Applebee's.
getting in a fight no matter what.
There's that
I love
moment
that.
where there's
I
that
love
moment
it.
where Anthony Michael Hall staples
Yeah.
forehead. And I asked Michael, because he did that movie with him last year, I was like, from your experience, do you think that he actually stapled it to his forehead?
Yes. Having done a movie with him, yeah, I kind of think he actually did. I don't
That's
know that for
amazing.
certain.
I've heard them talk about it, and he definitely was miming it, but they did say that, or not miming it, but like doing it without an actual staple in the stapler. But I guess when they filmed the opposite side where it was the study group reacting to it, he would still hit his head like that every time just to help get the reaction out of them. And that he was like on set kind of in that bully character around all of them. And I think that's just such a baller move. I think it's
or
really
obnoxious.
that.
It's
This is my
either
not
that or-
surprised face.
It's happened a lot tonight. You're
There's,
not surprised.
there's every line in it works, every scene in it works, every little bit. There's no side joke that Troy says
Yeah.
it's not hilarious. I don't mean like funny. It's
Go ahead,
hilarious.
call me a name.
I can't.
I can't.
Or
My
I wear
favorite-
this.
my
I
favorite
wear
side
this
joke
braces
is,
to get me
I think
checked.
what's interesting is that I started with 1 and then I didn't rewatch 4, but like it's just such an interesting difference in terms of like their characters and just the rapport and the way that the show, we talked about the way that it was shot, the way that the set was lit, and also just it boggles my mind because watching Britta in these 3 different
Yeah.
episodes was like, oh my gosh, she's actually like, I missed season 1 Britta, but like all the characters are just different in charming ways. I will say, I do not believe for a moment that Troy and Annie have no idea who Billy Joel is. Like, I just
I believe that.
I don't believe that
believe
Annie
it.
doesn't know.
I can believe
I believe
it.
that.
can't believe it.
Well, hang on. I'll say that black people don't know who Billy Joel is, and second, with no real with no real reference for what Billy Joel. I can't name a Billy Joel song, and I'm sure Troy can't either. And 2,
We didn't start the fire. You don't know we didn't start the fire. I mean,
That's your
seriously,
go-to.
You don't
We
that
don't
one.
Allentown.
No, it's the
is-
worst one that keeps coming back up. I
Look,
mean, it's the
there's
bad penny.
Some people, there are some people that
Night,
you
my angel.
like. I could tell Michael songs that I know that he
Mhm.
has heard
Bottle of
Billy
red.
Joel, but
That's the one they
Bottle
want.
of white.
Vienna
It's called
is the
Scenes
one
in an
that-
Italian
that
Vienna.
made
Restaurant.
it slow girl.
Ugh.
But like but he wouldn't
Uptown.
know. Like he doesn't know Billy. Like
I didn't know who Billy Joel was until
Wait, didn't
choir
he
in high
do
school.
songs in a Disney
Whoa.
movie though? Didn't he do songs?
That's
in
That's
a
Phil
Disney
Collins.
No, I think I know that Phil Collins did Tarzan. I think Billy
Okay.
Joel might have done songs for
sorry,
a Disney
Sorry,
film.
you are right. He did the song for Oliver and Company.
Oh, is that Billy Joel?
Mm.
He was in Oliver and
Really?
Company. He was
That's
a voice
Billy
in it, I
Joel.
believe.
Right.
So
That's
there you go.
Michael's
I know who
context.
Billy
Now
Joel.
Oliver and Company. I know.
Oliver and
Oliver
Company.
Company.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
know. Why do you
Well, that I
say
can
Oliver?
get
Why are you
And
calling
you
him
leave it
Billy?
that. But I
No,
will say
no name
even
Billy Joel kid.
I think like everyone was on, like even this is the rare episode where like Pierce was on point because he was just giving like he wasn't being super terrible or like racist. He was
he
like,
is in a cult.
yeah, he is.
Oh, yeah, he's-
I think that's a bong. Like you know, and he's just being like he's just being Pierce.
Pierce's cult is one of my favorite running things, and the fact that this is the introduction to it, and it's pretty extreme, but how far they go with it in the future,
So-
it makes
Oh,
it
yeah.
even funnier knowing what they do in like the psychology of letting go.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
you're not paying attention because it has lasers.
Yeah.
One
That is
thing that-
such a beautiful bit.
You can eat a
even when
ghost
you're,
at a
brought me
certain
back
level.
a level.
I want to eat a ghost.
Just
And we
you
get the
asking
payoff
me
at
that
the
has
end.
put me back. Y'all, I'm watching.
Yes, it's a
like, I'm
perfect
wa-
payoff.
I'm
Yeah,
watching
when
a
it-
lot of Scientology stuff right now,
Oh,
and so that
gosh.
whole line about you just asking me that has bumped me back a level. Like,
Or like in the other episode when he's getting them all to go to his open hive, and it's like there's free wine, beer, and credit checks.
This
I
episode
really-
does have the iconic "the Lord is testing me," and then
Yeah.
I'll allow it.
I'll allow
And we
it.
haven't
It
talked about
has-
Britta thinking fighting's gay. That's super iconic.
that joke was
But like
so
her,
good.
her
Box for
joke
a
of
belt and a
her
purse.
running joke, yes, and her I gotta write a paper about
Yeah.
this. Like, but also that's like the peak that dialogue threw me off because of then what you see in like season 4, Britta. I'm like,
Or season 3 when she's
Yeah,
really,
even season
really
3.
goofy.
but
Yeah.
like just
Also-
that kind of stuff.
Totally.
This episode also has Anthony Michael Hall. It also has Rufio in it.
Yeah. Why?
Oh, yeah.
Casual, just random,
Just
uncredited
'cause.
Rufio cameos. He's one of the Fly Boys.
Also, the way that the fight is choreographed in the end, and it's not just like a schoolyard ruffle. It's like they're
It's
like
all out.
doing karate kicks, and they're like up in the air doing aerial stuff. And the group with Chevy Chase still kicks their ass.
well, and so some of that is so, and this is the thing that I didn't
She
get.
didn't even get this until
I
last
didn't
night. I
get
had to
this
explain it.
until well, you didn't have to explain it. How did this get made? Explained it.
Oh,
Because
I
they
guess,
did an
sure.
episode about breaking 2.
Yeah.
And so Jeff makes a breaking.
Oh,
Yeah,
just the
yeah,
cast
so
of
they have
breaking.
to break it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they are not fighting whenever they're flying in the air.
It's like
they're-
dancing.
Trying
break
to
dancing.
dance. when they're flying
They're
in the air.
breakdancing. Yeah, of course they are.
And I went,
Exactly.
oh.
Very
That-
good.
I
the culmination
love the way
of
the
that,
Greendale
you know.
7 just wails on them. My favorite
Yeah.
is so Annie with the snow machine,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
pulling at the
Yeah.
Britta
ground.
like slamming a girl's face into the
Yeah,
snow.
she
ground,
finds the
Ain't
one
the
girl and
first
just
time
like
she's
Yeah.
done that.
Shirley with the
wails on her.
candy cane.
It's so great. Yeah, that's
And
the
it's
I
a
bet
rare,
it's
great
just running
Shirley
around
episode. There's so much good
Yeah.
Shirley stuff in that
Yes.
episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is
There
one of the
is-
only things like that.
Yeah,
focuses
why
on
do you
And-
hate me and Jesus?
And her
It's-
character, I don't think my brownie's working.
Yeah,
I
that's- that-
I
all
will
is good.
contend though that I don't think that she becomes more accepting of her group in the moment.
Mhm.
But I
In this
do not-
episode, not so much. Yeah.
But well,
season
and
one
I
really
well,
did
like
grow.
I don't think there's
Overall.
a whole lot of evidence on the whole that she ever really becomes more accepting of
Mm-mm.
other religions.
I will wager that we just did the
Other
psychology
people's
of letting go,
jealousies.
and there's some stuff in that episode where she's even the one who's like,
yeah.
"Let Pierce believe his thing. He obviously like needs this right now."
It was
Yeah,
just a
but
thing
then-
that they
But then, but then there's,
then
there's
in
later season, there are episodes in later seasons where Annie has to remind her that an unwarranted visit from her pastor is not.
He's not.
Is that-
So
or when
she's
she
still
like
trying
tried to baptize her or something.
Oh
like
my
that.
God,
that's,
yeah.
that's regional.
I
think-
yeah.
Obviously.
Well, the thing is
or
like they
she'll-
just. Sorry, go
like,
ahead.
or
Dylan.
she'll even like what is it, cooperative calligraphy, where they said what happened whenever they would get to the Christian
thought-
lady.
yeah.
She's like, I thought the
The-
I thought the
I
pen
thought
would
the
be
Christian
I
Muslim.
thought they'd
Muslim.
find it on the
Muslim. Yeah.
They just
Like-
didn't ever want. I mean, that's a soapbox I won't get on. But like Shirley's stories just go back and forth because they could only really
Yeah.
focus on her religion and the fact that she's a mom. That's all.
Mhm.
That's all they focus on the whole show.
Yeah.
Watch it go back and forth between those two
And
things.
then it's like they do
cooking.
jokes in the
yeah,
show
I
about
know.
how they're only doing that and how they don't do enough with her. But then
Yeah,
they
except
don't
then they
follow
never
that
actually
up with
do
doing
anything with
anything with
But
her.
like
They're
that's
just
what
like,
I'm
now
saying
she's
about
off the
why I
show.
liked Intro to Knots is because it was like the first time where I was like, this is something very interesting about Shirley that I would like to know more about. And the show's like, yeah, but we won't though. Like
Well, that's why the foosball episode stands out too, because we
Mhm.
actually get backstory that has nothing to do with her kids or her ex-husband. You know,
Yes,
like
exactly. It's
it-
just
it-
so much more interesting. But
Yeah.
so you'll watch her become accepting and less accepting when they need her to be less accepting. And
They
Yeah.
they
But of the
needed
episodes
a
about
writer
her
of
religion.
color in the writer's room, and they never had one.
Most shows do.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now we are talking about a show that's over 10 years old at this point. Not that it was. I
Yeah.
think if that show was being made right now, the writers' room would look very different, and a lot of the jokes would look very different. But I think the fact that so much of it holds up so
Maybe.
well and stands up to a more
Maybe.
modern audience
Maybe.
says
Yeah.
a ton for the
Mhm.
show.
I think he
Yeah.
said, "I'd like to think." I think
I'd
that
like-
was enough cover.
I know.
It's
I'd like to
covered.
think
Yeah,
that
it's
too, but
I
like,
would like to
again,
think.
they had
Yeah.
they had main characters of color, and they never
Mhm.
bothered to have anyone in the writers' room. who was
Right.
already
Yeah.
Or
Like,
use
what does
Right.
Rick and Morty look
And they
like
were
now? I mean,
main
that's what I would
characters
say.
for
Yeah.
the
I would also
whole
wonder that too.
show.
What does Rick and Morty look like right now?
Probably not a lot of color in that.
Well, no,
right?
there was a controversy with Rick and Morty because in one of the seasons they added quite a few female writers, and there was a group of their fan base that like revolted against the show and was like bullying people
Women
online
are
and
not-
stuff.
Yeah, not surprised based on that one.
Yeah, I know. So I'm sure that
Well, Jessica
whatever.
Gao won an Emmy for her episode a couple seasons ago.
Yeah.
So
for Rick and Morty.
yeah, for
Which
Rick and
episode
Morty.
was that?
Cool.
The Pickle Rick episode.
Pickle
Yeah.
Rick.
So
I'm
she
Pickle
wrote
Rick.
that. I mean,
That one an Emmy?
Jaguar, she lives.
That
That is a
won an
great
Emmy?
episode.
Jaguar,
It is
she
heartbreaking.
lives.
It is a great episode, but
I went to
Say that again, Ed.
DragonCon that year, so therefore Pickle Rick is forever ruined for me.
That's
Because
fair.
when you have 20,000 Pickle Ricks running around,
that
Atlanta
would
for a
ruin
week.
less
it.
than ideal.
You know, actually, what I will say about that is Pickle Rick won an Emmy. Cool, I'll get one.
Right?
I feel really good about that. Yeah,
Right? My chances are solid.
Great,
I
I'll
like
get one.
it.
Cool.
Right?
all I have to do is write something. I don't know. That,
That- you can stop there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
All you have to do is write something.
yeah.
And you got
all
a
right,
chance.
enough hot takes on Rick and Morty. Sorry, I brought it up.
It's on you.
It's definitely this whole thing is on me.
You invited
That's
us.
really
Yeah.
nice.
Did invite you on.
Can I throw out one more thing because you like Anthony Michael Hall in that episode and he
Yes.
tells him to call him Mike. He just goes by that on set.
That's fantastic.
Like, he just
That's-
goes by
that is
Mike.
cute,
That's-
isn't it?
That's his
adorable.
name. Like that's what he goes by.
Also, the fact that they call snickerdoodles winter doodles.
Winter doodles.
If you're trying to be threatening,
Trying to be
maybe don't
indulgent,
say the
maybe don't
cookie's
call it
name.
cookie.
Also,
Maybe don't
oh my
call it
god, I
cookie.
have another shout out for this episode. The dean and the dean and
The
human
sign language
being-
interpreter.
Well, that one too. So when the dean and the human being come in on their pedicab
Yeah.
into the
Oh yeah, there's another woman.
there's a woman who is sign language
Yeah.
interpreting for him.
Interpreting
behind
for
her.
the dean.
It's all amazing.
Very happy.
Mary happy, and she's saying like
signing
she's
it.
signing it as
Oh
she
my
says
gosh.
it, which I just noticed this time for the first time. I was
Oh,
like, he brought
wow.
a sign language interpreter into this. But also, I'm sad that this is the only time the dean brings back that outfit.
Yeah.
I wish he had been that character.
Mr. Wizard every year. Yeah.
every
Yeah.
You're Mr.
Mr.
Wizard,
Winter.
non-denominational Mr. Wizard. Yeah, it was-
Yeah.
All right, so let's rank these bad boys.
Oh,
Okay,
good
so
Lord.
4.
All right.
So yeah, I was gonna say Alex should probably like. Are you gonna do the
Are you
whole
gonna-
go around Brady?
Yeah,
Bunch
I'll
style?
go.
Okay.
I'll go around. Yeah, let's start with Jen.
Regional holiday music, Abed's Uncontrollable Christmas, Comparative Religion, Intro to Knots.
Okay, Ed and Kylie and Rita.
Rita?
She's like, what?
She's been
I
asleep.
didn't think I was going to be part
I
of
would
this.
say comparative religion, regional holiday music, Abed, and then Intro to Knots. But the top
Perfect.
3 are very close.
Yeah. Minotaur Man.
No, I don't have a ranking.
Abed, regional holiday music, comparative religion, intro to knots.
Evil Annie.
Comparative religion, Abed's Uncontrollable Christmas. And then I'm kind of like, on Intro to Knots and the regionals, mainly because I have a thing, and I didn't get to say this earlier, but I have a thing, not against, but it's like, I kind of find it really cringy with musicals. So I want to say in terms of popular choice, it would be regionals and then Intro to Knots. But,
What is your
Personal
heart saying?
Yeah.
I know you don't like musicals, but sing your heart song right
Sing
now.
We're gonna sing her
Read the
awkward
lyrics.
song.
Yeah.
then I would have to go with regionals because I do agree the rap was just
Top tier.
Yeah. Michael, Jillian.
All right. I mean, I'm gonna go Abed's Uncontrollable Christmas, regional holiday music, comparative religion, and Intro to Knots. And honestly, I will say that with regional holiday music, if I'm watching regional holiday music, it's my favorite.
Yeah.
But if I'm sitting down for all the reasons I said earlier, Abed's Uncontrollable Christmas is perfect for me. So So it's number 1.
I go back and forth between 1 and 2, which is the reason why I raised my hand twice. So it's regional holiday music and Abed's Uncontrollable Christmas are kind of like, it's really hard for me to decide a number 1 between those two. Just depends on if I want to laugh or if I want like the overall message and meaning. And then Comparative Religion, and then Intro to Knots.
You don't have to say it like that.
I'll just feel so bad.
Intro to Knots is a really good episode. It's just the others are amazing episodes. Yeah.
That's the reason why I feel bad. I'm like, you're not even a bad episode, but like you're
you tried Scamp. Come on, good job, boy. You know,
it's like 3, bolts, the runner, and like some guy as a wide receiver from the NFL. It's all good. I mean that's
yeah.
Question.
Like you're fast, but you're not.
Question: is Paranormal Parentage a better Halloween episode than Intro to Knots is a better Christmas?
Yes. I think it's about the same. I think it's about the same.
I don't think
Paranormal.
Wait,
I like Paranormal at what it's
I think it's better.
I think they're about equal.
I think it's better because it's an homage to, it's more of a haunted house, and you've got the emotional 1-2 punch of Jeff's dad versus Intro to Knots, which is barely a Christmas episode, and the plot is thin.
Sure,
that's my hot take.
I see why you would think
Intro
that.
to Knots more than I ever do Paranormal Parentage.
Honestly, the holiday episode from season 4 I think about is actually the Thanksgiving episode.
Because
fair point. Yeah. It's the only Thanksgiving.
That's actually the holiday episode. That is, and I would put that above.
That's one of,
and it's probably because we don't have earlier season episodes to super judge that one according to. When you watch a Community 4th season Christmas episode, you're like, wow, the first 3 were bangers. They've got it's got to be really, really good to even be close to on par with the others. Whereas Thanksgiving, it worked really well for the show, and they hadn't really.
I agree with you, Jillian. That performance from Joel deserved awards too, because that was a really good episode.
The existence of the Mandalorian TV show has now made Paranormal Parentage that much more elevated because of the final reveal of Cornelius.
Right.
So everyone now watching it will just love it when they see it.
Except
is this about Billy Joel?
Are you not a Mandalorian watcher?
Have you watched Breaking Bad?
Yes.
So Gus, who is
stop!
in
I know who Giancarlo Esposito
right.
is.
He's the
I was about to say
he's one of the main villains in The Mandalorian.
Do you only know who he is because of The Mandalorian? What is
Certainly
the problem?
not.
What's going
I
on?
only knew him from
that would be an issue.
But a lot of people now probably do know him specifically because of The Mandalorian, especially younger people.
That's right. Yeah. It's the same way that people go back to Community because of Glover. Right?
Yeah.
The same reason that people only watch Bosom Buddies because of Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
I don't think
Billy
people
Joel.
are
Nobody's
watching
watching Bosom Buddies anymore.
I'm going
That's not
back
a
to watch
thing.
Bosom Buddies because
That is not a thing.
you've got your Tom Hanks and you've got Billy Joel doing the theme song.
Can you name the other guy?
I don't care.
No, why would I?
Peter Scolari. But nobody watches
Right.
that. I mean, it was really weird. And the future wife of
Stream
Now
sponsored
the
by
Glee
Billy
episode
Joel.
that was all
I can't
Billy
remember.
Joel songs was pretty good.
Dan
It is all about Billy
Aykroyd. Future
Joel.
wife of Dan Aykroyd.
Spotify, look up who Billy
Woman to
Joel
me.
is.
Some
All right.
people haven't given us their ranks, right? Like,
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, Zach and
Because
Steven haven't ranked.
I got this. I got this. I asked a question because I thought it was pertinent to the conversation.
Yes.
And it was.
Yeah. And anyone else? Kylie, Ed, or Annie? You guys have any thoughts on?
Ed already gave this list, right?
No, I know.
Yeah. Ed.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm just throwing it off.
forget what-
I
Alcohol.
was asking.
It was whether or not parental parentage is better.
Drink
Is a better
some more.
Halloween.
Oh, the Paranormal Parentage.
Yeah, I was just
Yeah. I mean, I agree. I think the Thanksgiving episode in season 4 is like the best, maybe the best episode that season. It's like that and Her Street of Dance for me. They're like, I go back and forth. It's really whichever one I'm watching. But I think Paranormal Parentage at the time was the one I tried to get a lot of my friends back on season 4 with, because it was like early on enough that
It was
like
pretty good.
they weren't like completely given up on it yet. And I was like, just watch this. And for a couple people, it did get them back into it. I thought it was a pretty strong episode. But yeah, and I think Intro to Knots is like, I agree with what Zach said. It's just like you compare it to all the others, and like same with the Halloween episode, but it's like, I don't know, to me they hit it a bit harder with that one. So
yeah. I think Paranormal Parentage is as is almost as good as the other.
Yeah, it's not a huge gap. Like
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You, Annie, your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. There's a lot of dialogue and scenes that I thought were hilarious. And then when I think of Intro to Knots, it's like I would have to rewatch that episode just to kind of refresh my memory. So I think that says a lot to the strong ranking that I would put it on.
Yeah.
Cool. Steven, your holiday ranking.
All right, so my top two are really, really close, but I go Abed's Uncontrollable Christmas, then the Glee one. But kind of like Michael said, if I'm watching the Glee one, I really, really enjoy it. But I kind of get like post-watch clarity where I'm like, oh, that was a lot of fun. But if I'm trying to really feel something in my heart, I got to go to Abed, you know? Like you were a lot of fun, Glee episode. I'll call you next year around this time. But, and then number 3, I go with Comparative Religion, and then number 4, Intro to Knots. But I think Knots is good. I really enjoy a lot of stuff about it. It's just not quite there for me.
Not quite there.
Hey!
Ooh, this joke brought to you by dads.
I did have a thought while we were just talking about. We talked about like kind of season 4 and everything, and looking at the 4 episodes. It is interesting because one thing that I think season 4 tried to do, and I'd be interested to hear Jen's thought on this, because she kind of has strong Britta feelings about this, is it feels like they tried to veer Britta a bit more back towards a sense of reality. And you can see it very clearly in the trajectory of the 4 Christmas episodes when you watch them. Like you see her from season 1, season 2, and then season 3, like being the goof that we kind of ended up, the pothead kind of goof that we made her. And then in season 4, we bring her back. Like she did her reading, she did her homework, she's talking about what she's able to do. And that's kind of a clear thing whenever you watch all the Christmas episodes too.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think that they tried to, they recentered her and they gave her like still funny moments where she's helping, but it's almost sometimes accidental, but she's still doing earnest things like that Thanksgiving episode. Her Story of Dance is one of the most solid episodes in season 4. And I love that episode for Britta. And then just her really emotional arc with like Troy. I think season 4 Britta was written pretty well, like to almost reestablish the things that we lost from season 1. Because like when I watched season 1 Britta, I'm like, man, I wish when the show treated her like she was smart and capable of things. But I think
but the
show
gets
that.
It does introduce us to her with the idea that she dropped out of school because she
That's
thought
true.
Breath radio.
It's true. But I think season 4 is
She's always putting on a front.
Season
They'll
4
be
really
back soon.
Season 4 brings her back to like this this competent helper who occasionally does silly things or like fights for causes she doesn't understand. And so I would agree with that. I like that about her.
Zach.
Hey, so I think my favorite is Comparative Religion. Not only is it my favorite Christmas episode, I think it's in the upper echelon of my favorite community episodes, probably top 10. So the rest of the 3 are really good, but they're a step down from that for me. Next being Regional Holiday Music, which is just so funny. And as a Glee fan, there's so much to laugh at, whether you like it or hate it. And then Abed's Uncontrollable Christmas, which I love the style of it. For whatever reason, it's just never gotten me like the first 2 do. And then lastly, Intro to Knots, which is fine. There's nothing absolutely wrong with it. But just like I said, it is a different class of episode than the 3 that preceded it by quite a bit.
Nice.
This is the internet. Do you expect us to just sit here and listen to these nuanced opinions?
New opinions.
This take
Agree
is not
with
hot
me
enough.
or get out.
I'm sorry, I'm too cold. This is not hot enough.
So nice.
Bring us home, Matt.
For me, it's comparative because I just love the writing, and Uncontrollable is the one I feel uncontrollable every time I watch it. I just do. Was never in show choir. But
Lucky you.
I still like regionals.
There's still
next.
time.
And nuts, actually. No, there's not.
We're starting a podcaster show choir.
Oh no, God, no. No, I'm happy to rank the holiday episodes because I think everybody should watch all of them. I think they all have value. I think you can get a real sense of the show from comparative about these people are holding together, and they don't have anything in common. And in Uncontrollable, it's like, God, we've got to save this one. And Regional is about how that saving people, being tied to other people, can be complicated and also possibly get you into some sort of singing cult. And Knots, and then Knots, the best part of Knots is when they're talking to each other and learning about each other. I mean, it's a bit of a bottle episode, and I don't like all the reveals that happen, but it still works. But no, everybody should watch them. They're fun.
If you had on your bingo card, Matt makes us feel all warm and fuzzy.
Oh, man.
Check it out.
That would be the
yo.
bourbon that makes me feel warm.
Should be what we do next time is have listeners have a bingo card and then pass things off.
Everyone yells about season 4.
Alex started to make one earlier.
He did on Twitter. I saw it.
Twitter.
Everyone says, I like season 4, but
It always, yeah. The drinking is on the butt. We're all blind drunk by the 30th minute.
Okay, so I'll say mine, and I'm going to switch it up.
Good.
Here's some curveball, because I was thinking about this while you all were giving your responses. I'm going to say this is my ranking of how I would show these episodes to my wife, who is not a big Community fan.
Convert her.
It's just we're watching Schitt's Creek right now, and we watch. Jen, I knew you get that. So this is my rank based on how I'm going to show these episodes to my wife. Okay, so I think Regional Holiday, because I think she would laugh the most at that one. She was in choirs too, so I think that would resonate with her. I think the first season, Comparative Religion, would be next. Abed's Controllable, Christmas, and then Intro to Knots.
Yeah, my wife doesn't like Uncontrollable that much.
If you don't like claymation, it's
a no-go. Yeah.
It'll sink you immediately.
Yeah, they vote to let that go. This is not for them, and so it kind of goes right by.
It's like the G.I. Joe one. Like, if this is for you, it's really for you.
So
but if this
for
means
you.
everything to you, just skip to the next one, probably.
Yeah. I know. You can get over it. Nope. Now. For like 5 minutes. But you're right. No, you're right. There's a lot of good little. That's probably the issue that comes up after you get into season 3, where they no longer can do a parody of one thing. It has to be a mash of things. And so what happens with everything after that, when they do their homage, it becomes harder to distinguish what's actually happening. So G.I. Joe's very specific, and it kind of stands out that way. And I think ultimately people just don't like the end result of it more than anything else. There's a lot of good running jokes. Just the end of it's like, why do you do a retcon?
It's because they completely changed the look of the show for an entire episode. So if you're right on board with it, it's a lot of fun. But it kind of has me like, I'm ready for like the live action cast again, and I'm ready to.
Yeah.
And as far as Uncontrollable Christmas, that shot at the end where they look at the TV and it's the weird 2D, 3D live action versions of them, it's terrifying.
I love it.
It's horrifying.
I think it's cute.
It looked like Flat Stanley.
Yeah, welcome to my life.
Wow.
I'm sorry.
All the time.
There is a preferred child.
I like the idea behind it, but it's one of those things where I feel like the visuals department or whatever, they were like, this is about the best we can do. That'll be fine.
Please go read that article. I think it'll really help. Go read it. It's good.
All right, so that was our rankings. That was the best points of the episodes. That was pretty nice. Congratulate yourselves for
thank you so
walking
much.
us through that. That was nice.
Congratulations to you, Alex, for
we're
steering
so
us
great.
through all of that.
I'm pointing here because that's where he is on my screen.
He's like,
I love that we're all pointing different places. We're all different places.
That's right. Yeah.
I swear he's over here.
All winners.
Right here.
On the
guy
screen.
right
Zach and
Like
Jen
the-
are pointing at each other for
Ed
me.
is in the center square. On the stream,
The worst
Ed is in
version of the
center
Brady
square.
Bunch.
Oh.
I'm missing.
There's Steven.
So we do have. I know we usually run about hour and a half, so we've got about 10 minutes if everyone's cool for some trivia.
Trivia.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Got 10 minutes.
All right, is everyone playing? Is everyone in here playing?
Yeah.
Sure.
Oh, wait, that's right. We want,
What do we need?
My pen.
You just need something to write on that you can show to the camera. So I'll explain the rules. It's going to be pretty simple.
I was
Um,
warned.
The trivia.
It's going to be just 1 point questions, first to 5. And I'll ask the question. You'll have 20 seconds to answer, and you're going to write it down on whatever you have in front of you. And then one at a time, I'll call on people to show their answer and say it out loud. So you have to say it out loud and show it in order to get it right.
Steven's going
spelling
down.
doesn't matter, but just did my screen
It
freeze?
just sounded
You're
out.
fine. You're
Well, anyway.
but you
I
are
can hear
frozen.
you, but you're not.
No,
moving.
you're frozen, but
Well,
Keep
hopefully I get-
talking.
Wow, Ed, did you go to ventriloquism school?
Yeah,
That's
and
really
you're,
good.
but you're not orange, so
And now I don't hear him.
Oh, no.
Oh no.
oh
That's a shame.
oh.
I'm gonna skip the first question. I'll be right back.
Yeah, I'm gonna kick it.
Nice.
Is this a test? Is this part of the game?
Ed, I
Am
keep
supposed
seeing
to-
the blinking line for Ed, but I can't hear him.
No, I don't think he's.
Did we lose Ed?
I think we should
I
certainly.
think we lost Ed, you guys.
You're like,
All right, trivia question number 1. Where is Ed?
Am I not here at all? Can you not hear
Oh
me?
hi, I can hear you
hi,
now.
I hear you.
hey.
Okay. Yeah, I
But you're
think
not
it's just
moving.
my camera.
You're not moving.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's frozen.
I can
on
hear
my
you, though.
screen.
Before you.
Uh-huh. Hold on. I'm gonna switch to a different camera for a second. It's gonna look different. and
Camera
bad. But-
Dorito? Are we switching to
We're
Dorito?
switching to
Dorito
Dorito.
No, the lighting
Cam.
should stay the same.
The,
Dorito cam.
the Cool Ranch version of this shot.
Oh,
Branch
now
and
Zoom's
see.
not responding. This is
Ah.
good.
Still hear you, buddy.
All right. Well, yeah.
I mean,
go
I
ahead
could
and-
just go. I could just go.
just go. Just go.
Yeah, there we
You
go.
won't be able to see our answers unless you can.
No, I can see you. I
He
can.
can see us.
Okay.
He's just not moving.
Just know I got them all right.
All right. Well, hopefully the freeze frame isn't too distracting. All right.
It's literally not moving. It's hard to distract when it's not doing anything.
All right. Just ignore it. I'm gonna stand in that position the entire time, so if it cuts back, you won't realize. No. All right. So yeah, any questions about the rules? Did I get through that? Right.
No, go.
You
We-
got
we
the
heard it.
rules update. Yeah.
All right. Cool.
What
All
was
right.
the- Wait.
So first to 5, and if there's a tie, we'll just do sudden death from there. So all right. First question: name 2 out of the 3 directors of the Community Christmas episodes.
Crap.
2 out of. Oh, that's a hint.
There are 4 episodes and 3 directors across them, and you have 5, 4, 3, 2,
Okay, yeah.
1. All right. Everyone, pens down, pencils down, whatever you got. Okay, wait, hold on. Don't show your answers
Oh, wait,
yet.
no, sorry.
We're through writing.
One at a time. Hold on.
We're through writing.
Okay, Alex, what'd you have?
Tristan Shapiro, Intro to Knots, and Joe Russo.
Incorrect.
Joe Russo's not one of them because Tristan
Nope.
Shapiro.
Tristan is. Oh, me. It's Judge and Tristan Shapiro. Can't remember Judge's first name.
What'd you say?
Judge and Tristan Shapiro.
Nope.
That's also incorrect. Jen?
I have nothing.
Okay. Zach?
That's correct.
I don't know if my answer was a joke. Is there a Russo sister? Did she do?
Steven?
I just wrote the Russo brothers because I don't know anyone else.
Okay. Jillian and Michael, are you
We
separate?
also wrote the Russo brothers.
Tristan is right. I just don't remember.
And
the
Evil
two.
Annie?
I wrote nothing too. I couldn't
Okay.
think of.
All right, the correct
is also a
answer
great
is
story.
Were they in this one?
Yeah,
Right.
Tristram Shapiro, Adam Davidson. or
I'm so mad at
Johnson.
myself.
Adam Davidson.
Davidson?
So mad. I knew it was
Oh,
Adam.
should have known that one.
Okay, all right. This
Oh, I
next
didn't
one
know.
might be a little easier. Okay. What
So
is the
mad.
name of the song that or artist that plays during the fight in comparative religion?
Oh,
What is the name of the song or
Zach,
artist
you should know this.
that plays
know,
during
but
the
you
fight in
should.
I
comparative
used it in our podcast.
Yeah, you did.
Damn.
I forget who it's by at this moment, but
I
I, definitely
remember
know the
the
song
lyrics,
title.
but I cannot remember the name or the artist.
Me neither.
It's a jam.
It was
7,
a jam.
This is where I
Six,
say I haven't watched these
5,
episodes in
4,
like 2 years.
3.
I got it
2,
playing in my head. I just
1.
can't-
I show it.
All right, pens down, pens down,
Okay,
pens down.
okay.
Okay. Now we're gonna start with Matt.
I don't have any of it. I can remember the song in my head, but I don't know who sang it.
All right, Jen.
Kiss with a Fist. Florence.
That's
Welch.
correct. That's correct. Zach.
Kiss with a Fist.
Correct. Steven.
Oh, I wouldn't have known.
I wrote "Don't You Forget About Me," and I didn't get to finish drawing my Judd Nelson.
Jillian and Michael.
No.
No.
I remembered the song.
I
but
did write down Billy Joel.
Billy Joel
Annie?
Armstrong.
Hmm.
The one in Smash Mouth, right?
Annie. Evil Annie. No. All right. Okay.
I had one. But
So,
it's
you get it?
very
It's our-
wrong.
Oh, it's wrong.
It's
Next
very
question.
wrong. It's Enya, is what I wrote.
Next question. Right now, only we have 1 point for Jen and 1 point for Zach, and those are the only two on the board.
Going down.
All right. So next
Got
question.
this. I don't.
Kylie, you want to read this one?
Very late right now.
Sure. Which,
Oh wait, no, do this. Sorry. do
What?
I
this
really
one.
should have watched this show first.
I should have watched these.
What
episodes
is-
in
Should have,
the-
like-
I should have paid attention.
Wait, hang on.
Wait.
Say it again.
We're being asked a question. Right?
Sorry.
what is Mr. Rad's full name? First and last.
Oh man.
Oh, pen don't work.
Doesn't matter, but, you know, just
It's
it has to
going
be
down.
Yeah, I sure
I know
am.
his last
10,
name.
9,
I
8,
can't remember his first name.
How many letters?
3,
Is it bigger than a
2,
bread
Three
box?
letters?
1. All right,
Wait,
pens
what?
down. Pens down. All right, Jen.
Corey Radisson, but you can call him Mr. Rad.
How many D's?
Correct.
How many D's?
There's one.
One.
Yeah, there's one.
Spelling is fine. Zach.
I knew Radisson. I didn't know the first name.
Steven.
I wrote Mr. Ryan Radisson because I couldn't remember what it was.
You can call him Corey. Just don't call him late for dinner. Okay. Jillian and Michael.
Simon
I was just
Brussels
focused
sprouts.
on him
I
tickling
wrote
the dean.
Ethan
Radisson.
He looks like an Ethan.
Evil Annie.
No.
No. All right.
No.
I'm
Okay.
mad at
Oh,
myself for that.
Corey Radisson.
Alex,
Nice.
Just did it on a GIF.
Corey Radisson. I put
Nice.
2 D's.
Yeah, I was gonna say I just realized you did it on a GIF recently, Matt.
Natar, did you get it?
Is
I
that
went
everyone?
with Theodore Radisson.
he
Peter's
also
a
looks
strong
like a
name.
Theodore.
He's
He's very
nice.
adult, that version of Radisson.
I
Completely
was honestly
forgot
gonna put Ben Radisson for some reason.
All
I've
right.
been a lot of things, but I've never been Radisson.
All right. So we've got 1 for Alex, 2 for Jen, 1 for Zach, and 1 for Matt. Does that sound right to everyone?
Okay.
Hey,
so.
don't call it a comeback. It's go time. Here we go.
All right. This for you.
Intro to Knots was the only community Christmas episode that did not air during the Christmas season. What month did it air?
I said this in the group chat like yesterday. What was it? Oh. This is
You're asking for the month, right?
Just the month. Yeah.
Just the month.
Thank you.
10 seconds.
Just do 5. There's only 12 months.
I'm changing my answer.
4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Pens down. Zach.
March?
So-
Incorrect. Steven.
Damn it.
August, maybe
Incorrect.
April.
Jillian Michael.
April.
Correct.
I didn't get it.
No half points here. All right. Evil Annie.
I put April.
Nice.
Correct.
There you go.
On the board.
Cool, Abed. Did you? No, is he not there? I can't-
April.
Yeah, he's got it.
Okay,
He's there.
cool.
Don't
April,
call it a
he's
His
on
comeback.
mic is muted. My Zoom is all fucked up,
He's
so I
on
can't
it.
trust it right
Oh.
now.
Okay.
I'm
Alex?
sorry.
Jen, did you get it?
April.
April, correct. Matt.
I didn't get it.
Okay. Jen.
April.
Correct.
Wait, Matt, did
Easter.
you say you didn't get it?
Did not get it. No.
It was the
Bonus
joke was
points?
that it was an Easter
April 13th.
Christmas episode, I feel like, right?
April
I don't know.
13th.
Wow.
I only
Look who
I-
Googled it.
I
Nope.
Just
only
kidding.
I
I trust
only
you.
know that because that was in the podcast chat. Like,
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I said it and I forgot. It's all
Okay.
the no-no
Next
juice.
question. During the fight in comparative religion, 3 characters, including Jeff, are punched in the face. Who are the other 2?
Oh my god.
Not taking it easy.
We just watched this one.
I know. I watched it like an hour ago.
Just
I
play
haven't
through the
watched
scene in your
these
head.
So long.
You,
Seven.
can I have a
you said
3
including
characters
Jeff?
excluding Jeff, correct?
Excluding Jeff. The other
Aw,
2.
man.
Excluding Jeff.
5, 4, 3, 2,
Damn it.
1. Okay. Steven, you first?
Rufio and Anthony Mike Hall.
Incorrect.
Ah.
Jillian and Michael?
We wrote Mike, Troy, and Britta.
I guess you got the 2.
Yeah, because it's Troy and Britta.
Troy and Mike.
Oh,
Okay.
Troy,
oh.
Mike.
Lanny?
Darn it.
Come on,
Lanny, did you have it?
I got Troy, Mike, and Abed.
Yeah, yeah.
You
All
guys
right.
see it?
Yeah, I just asked for 2, so I guess I'll give it to you if you got them. Even if you
I
gave
thought you
three.
said 3. We'll take it though.
I think you said
Okay.
3
There were
including
3
Jeff.
that got punched, and Jeff was one of
Okay,
them. I was
okay,
asking who the
okay.
other two.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, I thought you said excluding Jeff, so I crossed him out. I put Jeff.
We
Cool,
started
Abed?
with
You got
We
it?
started with Jeff.
I said Britta and Troy.
Oh. Okay.
She had the
Alex?
scuff on her, but you don't see her
I
punch.
said Annie and Donnie Brasco.
Fair enough.
Matt, did you have it?
No, I only had Troy.
Jen, did you have it?
I put Britta and Troy. So
Yeah, I didn't even think of Mike as part of the group to be
Yeah.
punched, so I didn't even
Zach?
think about him.
I didn't get it.
Okay. All right. It is Jen's in the lead with 3 right now, so you still need 2 more. Okay.
Don't call it a comeback.
No one
Yeah,
is.
guys.
No one
Regional holiday
is.
season 3.
No one will.
All right.
It's a sort of long-winded question, so bear with me. At
Okay.
the end of regional holiday music, the study group gathers to watch the terrible 1981 long-lost Inspector Spacetime holiday special. The special was so bad that the creator received what punishment?
Oh.
Oh man, I would not know this one.
10 seconds left.
I got to watch this show.
Are you-
It sounds pretty good.
5,
Sounds like a
Yeah,
lot of
Jen's on
detail.
4.
Three,
I know Jen's on 4
two,
after this one.
1.
I know that.
Pens down. Pens down.
I
pens
guessed.
down.
I guessed.
I'll
Okay,
just
Jillian
say
and
I
Michael,
didn't
you have
know.
it?
Yes, the correct answer is the creator had his knighthood revoked.
Yes.
Correct.
Oh, I thought it was.
Lanny.
Knighthood was revoked.
Oh,
Lanny.
All right.
uh,
Who got Knighthood revoked? Jen, me. Did you get it, Zach?
No.
You got it, Steven?
I
Steven did.
Knighthood reverse card.
Michael and
Good
Jillian
job,
got
Steven.
it. Annie?
Thank
Come
you.
back.
I put suspension.
See, I put death threats. Not that.
Probably that too.
So it's just Matt
Probably.
and wait. So
Matt, Jen,
Jen,
Matt,
Steven.
Jen,
Jillian,
Steven,
Michael.
Jillian, Michael.
and
Steven as
Steven.
well, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Steven. Is that Steven?
Thank you.
Said my
Has to
name.
get all
You can
that.
say it.
I
He doesn't get to take credit for much, so
All
let's
right.
give him.
Yeah, that's- I watched this one.
Okay.
Annie,
Potentially
come
last question if Jen gets this right. Okay. So
Do it.
I'm
in
on
intro-
watch.
and everyone. All right. An intro to knots.
Oh no.
Yes.
The one.
What does Kevin call bubble wrap?
Oh.
Oh shoot.
Oh no.
The pen is dead.
Excuses.
Your soul is dead.
Spitting blood.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. I can't remember where we started last
I'm
time.
honestly guessing at this point.
Whatever.
I mean,
Who had poppy paper?
Oh, damn
Poppy,
it.
does poppy paper count?
Yep, it
Yes,
does.
it does.
Heather Poppin Locklear. Is that?
Come on.
I didn't
Well,
intend for that to be an acceptable answer.
It's
To be honest.
10:30.
Yeah.
I wanted her to
But
get
for the sake of this, I will give it
Valiant
to you.
effort. Well earned win.
Yeah.
Two paper
God.
wins.
Good one.
And also because my Zoom is still crashing right now.
Thank you, everyone.
Well done.
Nice. Well, folks, I think that wraps us up. Thanks, Ed, for doing that, and Kylie for doing that.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah,
That
thank
was fun.
you.
Thank you.
That's on.
Yeah, thank you guys. That was
Yeah.
fun. I think I will we'll probably crash out of here before we can properly
Yeah.
say goodbye. So we'll-
Season 2 rewatch. Make it happen. Season
We're
2
doing-
rewatch.
We're watching regionals on Tuesday as part of the
Great.
rewatch. We put it off for a
Beautiful.
week so we could have a little extra, spread the joy.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, folks, thanks so much for doing the live stream. I think that's where I'll end it. Everyone can wave and say bye.
Bye.
Listen to our podcasts.
Trust
Yeah,
we're
check
waving.
us all out.
Yeah, check everyone out.
Yes, please. They're all excellent.
And we're stopped. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Y'all.
Yeah,
Wonderful. Yeah,
This was
no,
fun.
you guys were all great. I
wonderful.
really appreciate it.